Мы просто не оставили никаких шансов поступить иначе. Отреагировать было невозможно.
Ukraine is under attack by land, sea and air. For 70 years, no two major countries on this continent have gone to war on this scale. That era is now over.
Громадяни суспільства, тут всі ми тут захищаємо нашу незалежність.
Ukrainian civilians arm themselves against the Russian onslaught as Moscow's march on Kyiv appears to slow.
Vladimir Putin puts his nuclear deterrent on high alert while both sides agree to talks without preconditions.
The United Nations says more than 500,000 people have now fled Ukraine. We're on the border witnessing the painful goodbyes of thousands of refugees, leaving husbands, fathers and sons behind.
NATO is afraid of World War III, but it is already started. And these are Ukrainian children who are there taking the hit.
More than 2,000 civilians dead in the first week of war with Russia, say the Ukrainians, and further casualties to come as cities across the country come under intensified attack. Russia's destructive power unleashed. Civilians are caught in the firing line as the International Criminal Court launches war crimes investigations. Russian troops are set to control Ukraine's biggest nuclear power station. America says the world narrowly averted a nuclear catastrophe.
President Putin says Western sanctions are already akin to a declaration of war.
Barbaric scenes today outside the Ukrainian capital Kyiv as Russian forces attack civilians trying to flee their homes.
Almost 1.75 million people driven from their homes as the scale of the refugee crisis defies imagination.
Here, Ukraine's President Zelensky made an historic address by video link to the British Parliament. Invoking Churchill, he compared Ukraine's dilemma to the one facing Britain against the Nazis in the Second World War.
A strike on a maternity hospital, the latest atrocity from the Russians on the besieged city of Mariupol.
Here in the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv, half the population, that's 2 million people, have already fled. And the remaining 2 million are waiting with dread for a further Russian assault.
Нас засыпало в погребе. Двоих детей. Они спасли.
Russia widens the war in Ukraine to the west of the country, striking very near the Polish border and killing dozens.
We're at the bridge leading into Irpin. There's been some incoming fire, not clear where exactly it's landed.
We're fighting right now not for Ukraine. This war touched everyone in the world.
Today has seen reports of what could be some of the worst atrocities of the war so far. In Mariupol, a theatre being used by over 1,000 people as a bomb shelter has been destroyed by the Russians.
The artillery and the bombs continue, but the question is to what end? Because here in Kyiv, we're not seeing the Russians advance on the ground. And Western sources suggest that they are bogged down because
Vladimir Putin celebrates the war and rallies his nation, promising Russia will succeed.
Rescuers scrambling in the rubble after a dawn raid. And 3 meters beneath twisted steel and concrete, a survivor. The few moments of relief in Ukraine are to be celebrated.
Мой дом полностью. Вся 12-этажка горит. Ничего живого.
the name Mariupol will go down in infamy, I think, alongside Guernica, Leningrad, Aleppo, places that have been besieged and bombarded with no regard for civilian life.
As Ukraine's president says there is nothing left of Mariupol, we find the children shot while trying to escape the Russian invasion. Mariupol, 28 days later, a horror film from the sky, and you can see why they have called this the ashes of a dead land.
1 month already, that long. It breaks my heart, hearts of all Ukrainians and every free person on the planet. People matter, freedom matters, Ukraine matters.